Hello and welcome. Now this video is going to be kind of like a best EDC knife, okay, best everyday carry knife. It can also be classed as a secondary knife, alright, but when I say EDC or everyday carry knife, I'm mainly looking at a knife with a cutting edge less than 3 inches. Okay, that's just what I'm looking at in here. All right. Many people may carry ZT hinderers, large Sebenzas, Spyderco militaries, but this is what I class an everyday carry knife. Kind of the criteria I would put in, and I'm going to go through all of these knives in front of you, and at the end I'm going to come to some kind of conclusion as to which is actually the best one to carry as a secondary backup blade, backup knife, or just an everyday carry knife. If you don't want to carry a large folding knife and you just think you only need a knife that has a cutting edge less than 3 inches. Okay, so that's the whole main purpose of this video. Alright, so we're going to go around this way. In a way, I'm going to go through pros and cons of each of the knives and, like I say, reach a conclusion. We'll start with this one. This is the Kershaw Cryo. It's only come out in the past year or so. It's quite a new knife, yet to establish itself fully. It's not that expensive. It's got Kershaw's speed safe assisted blade kind of thing, open-end deployment mechanism. It is made in China. It's got quite low steel, really, 8CR13 MOV. It will need sharpening often, but you can get it quite sharp, and it's okay. It's got an okay pocket clip. It's quite heavy though. Cutting edge is less than 3 inches, but it's quite heavy. It's quite comfortable. It's got the jimping in the right places. In a way, it could have had some there, but yeah, and it has a frame lock. I mean, that's an okay everyday carry knife, although it is heavy. But if this is the only knife you wish to carry, then it just depends on how much you're going to use it because of that blade steel. But if you lost this, that it wouldn't be much of a problem. You could just go out and buy a new one, okay? Because it's quite relatively cheap. So that's an okay option. Another option would be an even smaller knife, a Burka Subcom 42 titanium with better steel, with 440C, which is high-end stainless steel. Okay, it's comfortable, very light. It's got this nice titanium cutouts for your grip, plenty of jimping around. And it's quite small and just small and compact, really. Small, compact. You could use it as a money clip. You could take the clip off and have it as a pocket floater. Again, it's a similar price to a Cryo. It's a lot lighter though. So that would be a good option. Of course, if you're in America, I would suggest you get one with a frame lock rather than the UK one, which is just a slip it. I don't know. You might prefer the slip it, but that's a good option for everyday carry. It's not my favourite everyday carry though. Another one is I don't know why they have this flipper. It's probably for the finger choil, but because you can't really use it, you have to use the thumb stud. Is this Burka Plus Trans 42? Has the 42 there. It's OS 8 steel. It's bead blasted. I have had a few issues with rust on this knife, and there has been reports of some quality control issues. If you were going to buy this knife again, I'd go for the one with the frame lock. But that's an okay knife. It's not that light, but it's not too heavy either, and it's reasonably priced. Again, about the same price range as those two. So that's an okay knife. It's got a nice finger choil, very useful blade shape to it. That's an okay everyday carry knife. Again, blade length under 3 inches. Come to another Kershaw knife. This is a Kershaw Leak. This particular one is with Damascus steel. It is actually almost perfection. It really is. The pricing is quite decent. The only real gripe really I've had with it is well, one, it's got this safety feature which some may argue is not needed unless you're carrying it tip down. But another kind of issue really is just the pocket clip. I mean, that doesn't ride very low at all. In fact, that rides quite high. You've got this big chunk of metal that sits out of your pocket, and it does flap about and it can get caught on things. It's a little bit deeper carry if you're carrying it tip down, but this is close to perfection for an everyday carry knife. It's excellent, very fast deployment, very useful blade shape, and a nice tip. And it's quite comfortable. Okay, it's not too heavy, so this would be an excellent choice for an everyday carry knife if you just wanted to carry one knife, and it's priced quite reasonably as well. So that's a Kershaw Leak, one of the best everyday carry knives. Here in the UK, legally we're allowed these Spyderco UK PKs or UK pen knives because they don't have a lock, and this is actually my best everyday carry in the UK. Alright, made in America, designed by Tilian, very nice pocket clip, half back spacer. The weight is just negligible almost. It's just, honestly, it's so light, it's unbelievable. And if you like slip its, I suppose this is a good option really. The Spyderco UK PK. It really is a knife with okay, decent-ish steel, very comfortable handle. It's basically just really well designed for what it needs to be. Okay, so that's an excellent option. We have Benchmade's offering here, the Benchmade Mini Grip Tilian. So just a little smaller version of the full-size Grip Tilian. This comes in many different colours as well. I'd love to get a light blue one at some point, or a white one, or a yellow one, you name it. There's some decent colours. It's got some nice blade steel, 154 cm. It's medium to high steel, medium-ish. It's good. It's got the axis lock, which it can fail, but that's only if you're tanning with it. For everyday carry, simple cutting tasks, you wouldn't really have much of a problem. If you pull the bar back, you can flip it out as well. So deployment is good. It's nice and smooth. It just feels well made. Okay, and plenty of grip and jimping and things all the way around this. It doesn't carry too high either in the pocket. So this is a very excellent choice. A bit pricey, well, especially here in the UK. This runs for about $100-ish equivalent here in the UK. So it is a bit pricey, but you do get what you pay for. That's decent steel, and it's a good design. So that's another favourite everyday carry knife. I just threw this one in because it's just quite small and it's got good steel. This is the Spyderco Squeak, quite a people-friendly knife. Designed by Tilian, made in Italy, Maniago. It's got their medium to high grade steel, the N690 CO. It's basically Austrian's equivalent to S30V really. It has excellent edge retention capacity and corrosion resistance. It's comfortable. Okay, despite its small size, it's comfortable, and like I say, it's quite sheeple friendly. It's a slip it, so no lock, but it's quite lightweight, and that would be an excellent everyday carry option. We go to higher endish knives now. We go to this Spyderco Delica. You can get it in many colours. This is one of my favourite colours. You can get it in brown, purple, blue. I'll just bring out a few of the colours really that you can get it in. I would like to collect all of the colours because, well, it just gets boring with a sea of G10 all the time, doesn't it? Let's face it, sea of black G10. So there's a purple one. Okay. This is what it would look like in blue. This is a blue Endura. It looks lighter on the camera, the blue. It's actually darker in real life. And then we've got a brown one. Again, that's probably a little bit darker in real life, but that gives you a kind of some views on the different colours that you can pick one of these up. It's decently priced, made in Seki City, Japan. It has VG10 blade steel, which is medium to high quality steel. They say it's a super steel, but don't know how super that really is. It's tried and tested, brought out in the 90s, 80s, 90s. It's comfortable. Well, I think it's comfortable. I would wish it had a choil, but if you're kind of looking for one of these knives, but you don't want to spend this top whack, I would suggest a bird knife, and the equivalent of a bird knife. Bird is kind of a sub company of Spyderco in a way. It's the cheaper version of knives, a bit like Burka and Burka Plus. But I'd try out a Bird Meadowlark 2, because that's essentially this Delica, but with not as good steel, but it does have this finger choil area here so that you can choke up on it. So I'd try that out as well, if you're not too concerned about blade steel and you're on a tight budget. So that's the Spyderco Delica 4 FFG. Decent pocket clip. The pocket clip's okay. I would rather them have satin pocket clips. Most of them do have the black pocket clips, and many people do sand them down and make them stainless, or just pop a different pocket clip on there, because they do chip after a while, although the coating is quite decent. Well, much more decent than, say, Benchmade's coating or Kershaw's coating. Okay, so that's that. That's the Spyderco Delica. Excellent choice. Now we're moving up really high end. Okay, these are much better steels and different exotic handle materials. So here we have a Spyderco Sage 1 with carbon fibre scales. I know, before anybody corrects me, I do know that they're half carbon fibre and then half G10 underlay. I do know that. It's quite expensive. I mean, equivalent, this is probably about $130, $140. That's what you'd pay here anyway in the UK. It's very comfortable, very nice, satisfying lock-up with a liner lock. Made in Taiwan, Taichung, Taiwan, and has CPMS 30V blade steel, which is medium to high quality steel. But the fit and finish is excellent. But you do pay a price. Again, this the blade length is under 3 inches, and you do get what you pay for, though, which is, and you know, in my book, this is probably one of the best everyday carry knives if you can afford it. Okay, and I do take that into consideration with my final choice in this video. And then you move on to some of the really expensive ones. Now, this is a Spyderco Sprint Run 2013 Cali 3 with super blue blade steel. This is the equivalent of about $200 plus, and that's how much we pay here. Super blue, made in Japan. This really is essentially a UK PK, but with G10 handle scales and just incredible, very high quality super steel of the super blue. It's very comfortable, it has a lock back, and again, you do get what you pay for here with this. This will hardly ever need sharpening, probably just a few goes on the strop. It won't really need any, if any, metal being stripped to sharpen it. But that's kind of like the high end result of where you get to. But again, it's not my main choice, because we're not about that. I mean, I will do a video in the future of the best, very expensive everyday carry knives. Well, production knives, that is. I probably will never do a custom one, because that may well involve me buying a Rockstead knife, which is about $7,000 to $8,000, which I'm sorry, I just will not do. Okay, so it will always be production knives mainly, But that just gives you an overview of all these everyday carry knives. Another knife that didn't make it into selection, which is a big favourite of mine, which is the Paramilitary 2, the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And I've done a couple of other videos where I say this is the best knife I own and this is the ultimate everyday carry knife and things. But for this video, because the blade length, the cutting edge, is just slightly longer than 3 inches, unfortunately I had to take it out of this equation, because I don't think it's fair that I would compare this to a Leek or just a UK PK or even a mini grip Tilian, because again, this is quite expensive, but I just think that the blade shape and the size of that cutting edge just puts it leagues above many of these knives. I just didn't think that was fair. So overall, you've got some cheaper offerings. You know, it depends what your budget is. Okay, if you've got about $40–50 to spend, I mean, if you can get a Leek for that much, or if you can get a UK PK for that much, or a mini grip Tilian for about that much, then that's good. That's a good start. If you want to go for the best and you want to get something with exotic steel that doesn't need to be sharpened that much, then you can go for that. But that knocks it down a little bit, because not everybody can afford that kind of knife. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a knife. If you just want to buy one for everyday carry, you probably have a budget, probably have other responsibilities. So in that case, my ultimate everyday carry knife, based on a budget, based on if you're not a collector and you're not bothered too much about exotic blade steels and handles, would actually be the Spyderco Delica. I think it represents a very good tried and tested design that's been around for a while. The fit and finish of all these Japanese made, Seki City made knives is bar none. It's very well made. The handle, the FRN handle, is very reliable and strong, but at the same time is lightweight. And the steel is pretty good at VG10 steel. It's sharp and it stays sharp, but it also is quite easy to sharpen compared to you know, S30V or other steels. But it's higher quality than, say, BD1 or 8CR or 440C. It's similar in a way to the Benchmade mini grip Tilian, and in a way it's kind of out of these two. If you like it depends. If you like, I would try them both out, really. I really would. I've got a versus video out, or it should be out soon, that does a versus between these, because these are really the competition, the everyday carry. These are the two knives that face off against each other. If you like made in America 154 cm blade steel and you like the axis lock, which, let's face it, is more fun to play with than the Delica, and they do some nice colours now for the mini grip Tilian, go for this one. If you're not too bothered where it's made, and you don't mind that it's made in Japan, and you want some a wider range of colours, some would say, then pick the Delica, because the steels are very similar, really, very similar. But that's why I would pick the Delica over the Benchmade, just because here I think the Benchmade in the UK is a bit more expensive. I'm not sure whether that's the same in America. It might be, but that's why best everyday carry knife for price, steel, comfortability, pocket clip options, jimping, you name it. Okay, this is what I would pick based on all of those things. Thank you very much for watching. Please do comment, rate and subscribe. Put a comment in the bottom, which is your favourite everyday carry, or which would you class as your one, okay? In those price ranges, nothing too expensive, like a Super Blue or a Sebenza, okay? Because not everybody has that kind of budget, alright? But please do comment, rate and subscribe. Like I say, thanks again for watching. Hope it's been useful. Take care.